Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Yes, it is Sunday. This is my weekly video update that I do every Sunday on my YouTube channel. I thank you so much for watching and checking this out. I had already done a live video on my dad's Facebook with his permission, so I don't want there to be any confusion that, you know, seems there already is confusion. Oh, well, Jared and Wayne are the same people. No, we're not. I actually had permission from my dad to use his Facebook page to do a live video. So I got that out of the way, and now I'm going to do, I decided to do a video separate from the live video. This is just a recording of you know, this is like, I guess, quote unquote, an after show, so to speak, of the other video that I did on Facebook, on my dad's Facebook page. I went live on his page, and it was, you know, there were a lot of good interactions and a lot of positive reaction. So I just wanted to make this video this week just to say that I am doing super great. I feel great right now. I feel fantastic. I feel wonderful. Any other word you want to fit in that's positive. I'm doing great. This is day 24 of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And I know I haven't really done a lot here on my YouTube channel to raise awareness or to show my support, and for that I do apologize. I really didn't have many creative ideas to go with visually in terms of making videos. I think all my other videos that I show of my battle scars and the mark where I have my chemo port, I think those videos kind of speak for themselves, and they're always available anytime you would like to watch them and use them as you know, a symbol of September being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to make a note to those of you who watched the live video on my dad's Facebook page, and now you're tuning in to this video on my YouTube channel. I think I had misspoken when I said that the September Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is particularly for the survivors. Well, I want to make clear that it is for all of us who have been affected by childhood cancer, not just the survivors, but the parents who have lost children to cancer. It is for all of us, and if there's any confusion or misunderstanding there, I do apologize, and I own up to that, and I stand corrected, and I would like to offer up I misspoke, and I am here to apologize for it. So I'm sorry for that. If I can speak, if I'm not tripping over my words here. But anyway, guys, other than that, everything is going great. Hopefully sometime soon we're going to get this going. I know I'm really slow at getting things off the ground. But Buddy Boy, I will be putting your can up somewhere. Hopefully Express Stop in Chesaning. We had a fundraiser there for Caleb Becker some time ago, and it was pretty successful, I think. That we didn't raise tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I wasn't reaching for that kind of a goal, but it helped the family. It was beneficial, and that was my main concern. So I'll show you guys again. It was kind of just a quick glimpse of that. This is Buddy Boy. He's from New Lothrop. Just look at that face and just tell me right now, or tell yourself, because I can't hear you talk to me. This is a video recording. And you got to ask yourself, when you look in his eyes, when you look at this beautiful face, you got to ask yourself, is he worth every bit of research? And the answer should be yes. I would hope that your answer would be yes. Because children are always our number one priority, and you know, it's time that we start holding feet to fire in Washington. And you know, they can talk a good game in Oval Office. They can, you know, they're professionals at lip service on Capitol Hill. Well, if you say children are our number one priority, then I think it's time you started to prove that. And you started to justify your words and help children like Braden here. So that's that, my friends. I've got the house to myself right now at the moment. I'm just kind of kicking back, and I spent over an hour talking to people on my dad's through my dad's Facebook page when I did the live video, and here I am drinking Pepsi. I was drinking coffee in the live video, and well, you know, it is going on 5 o'clock, so it's time to change drinks here. But I'm doing great. I had written a poem for the Runaway Hamsters. I almost forgot. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. For the Runaway Hamsters, they are a wonderful, talented, amazingly gifted group of young musicians. Isabella, Abby, Gabby, and Riley, the Keene family, and I come up with the idea Keene on Country because they do a lot of country songs, and they are a country genre band, and or genre rather. So that their stock and trade is country music. So I wanted to write a poem for them to show them how much that they are loved and appreciated. And if they're watching this video, love you, Runaway Hamsters. And thanks for subscribing to my channel and for watching my videos. And keep up the amazing work with the music. Music is primitive to our culture, and you are a pillar of that culture that we live for and that we live by. So keep it rocking, guys. It's just me and my dog Barkley, so that's probably where you are hearing a whining, because he's got an itch. He's got what's called elephant skin. He'll itch for a while, then he'll be okay. He'll go to sleep, and he'll just, I'll let him sleep for however long he wants. But yeah, I got the house to myself, and there was one thing I wanted to discuss here in this video, and I did mention it briefly on the live video through my dad's Facebook page. Okay. And it is naturally, of course, about childhood cancer awareness. And the one thing that we need to make clear, very clear, is the fact that it is not an opportunity for people to feed into their hunger of being number one at something. That's not what childhood cancer is. Now, and I've even said this to a lot of parents, of which have also agreed with me. And I told them, I said, you know what? I raise awareness to childhood cancer. It is, it's very personal to me. And one of the reasons I do it, that's one of the reasons I do it. But my goal or my mission is to not be number one. It is a manifestation of what people seek out to do. Now, if you really and truly care about the kids, you'll do it for the kids, and you ain't going to care about being number one. But to me, that's how I see it. Most people are doing it for number one. A lot of people who are, they're not affected by cancer directly, and I have friends who are. They are doing it for the kids, and I can see that just in what they do. And I would never discourage them from raising awareness to childhood cancer, because it's very beneficial. It's essential that we have as much awareness as we can get. But there are also people out there, and it's not hard to read between the lines. It's not hard to find out who those people are and to make an educated determination as to who's doing it from the bottom of their heart and to do it in a sincere fashion, as opposed to people who are over here doing it just to be number one because they love attention. And we have a confirmed bias about children in our culture that children tug at our heartstrings, their innocence and their purity and all that. It goes into play when we're talking about raising awareness of childhood cancer. And they use childhood cancer to smuggle in that idea that they want to be number one. And that's, I'm not so stupid or blind to where I can't see that. That's happening all the time. And to those people who are doing it specifically for the attention, shame on you. It's not what this is intended for. My goal or my mission or whatever the hell it's called, I never even had a mission or a goal. All I wanted to do was share my story and offer hope. And I don't care about being number one. As a matter of fact, I don't even care who's number one at doing anything for childhood cancer because it's irrelevant. Being number one is irrelevant when you're supposed to be working together as one and not individually pairing off and saying, well, I can do this one thing better than the rest of the crowd. That is absurd. And I talked about this in last week's video, how there's so much divisiveness with advocates in the childhood cancer community. Sure, I've been outspoken about some people who are fraudulent and crooked and misleading, and they prey on people's emotions. And I'll talk about that all day, every day, for as long as it takes, until people realize and understand that there are people out there that you are friends with and you are associating with those people. That is exactly what they're doing. And because of the fact that I spoke up about it in opposition to them, people who follow certain individuals, they want to come up with these lies that I'm saying and doing things that has never been proven to be true. There's no screenshots, no evidence, no demonstration of the kind whatsoever. And they're doing it to retaliate and to get back at me because I see through the crap. I see through the bullshit of what's going on. And boy, that Jared, he can really spot us, you know. He really knows what we're up to. Yes, I do. And for anybody to get upset or pissy about me speaking up in opposition to those crooks, you better kind of reevaluate your logic and your ways of critical thinking, because I wouldn't talk about things like that if it wasn't happening. Much the same way I wouldn't speak up about attention-seeking people if that too weren't happening, because it is. And you know, like I said, I have a lot of friends who they'll make it known, and they're transparent in making this known that they are not directly affected by childhood cancer. They have never had children go through that, but they are emotionally attached, and they want to help families. They want to make it known, and that to me is just as beautiful. They're not doing this to be number one. Being number one in anything when it comes to children is irrelevant. Just this, about a year or two ago, they had a local news segment on television here in my area talking about children's champions for children. I don't necessarily care about who can do the best or the most for children. I don't care who a champion is. We seem to forget in today's world that even the littlest things can make a big difference. I don't care how little or extravagant some things are. It's the thought that counts. If you are really and truly in your own mind, in your state, in your heart, in your state of mind, if your position is genuine and to the point where you're doing this for the children, you're not doing it for yourself, that's where I have respect for you. If you're doing it for the kids and you're wholeheartedly approaching this with an open mind, and you're saying, I'm doing this for the kids, I don't care about being number one. It's not my concern, never was, never will be. I'm doing this for the kids. I respect those people, and I have friends who I chat with, I text them, and they are also friends with my dad. And we stay in touch. There's all kinds of amazing and wonderful communication with those people, and I love those people because they are honest and they're open. There's people who will never admit that they're doing this just for the attention, and they want to make it all about them. And while I want to be number one, I want to be at the front of the line, I want to be at the very top of the mountain, I want to be at the very height of the game. That's not what advocacy is. That's not what it is. Even the parents of these kids will tell you, I don't care if I'm number one at raising awareness. I don't care if I'm number one at getting the word out to Washington or whoever's, to the big names in Oval Office. I don't care about all that. Some people, they can't live without it. They have to be number one. They have to be the people, the go-to people to make things happen. What kind of to me, it's narcissism, it's selfishness, and instead of focusing more on who's being number one or who wants to be number one, we should all be banding together as one. There's a difference. And as soon as you find out the difference and you can make a determination as to what side you want to be on, then we can talk. Then we can have an open-ended conversation with thought and with heart and with feeling. Because childhood cancer is not just for the living. It is also to remember those children, those warriors who fell to this incredibly awful and egregious disease. And I cannot, when I was on Facebook, and I'm just going to put it all out there, when I was on Facebook, I would see this an awful lot with advocates who, they were doing it just for the selfies. They were doing it just to fill their Facebook tabloids, to make their timeline look so productive and look at me, don't I live such a wonderful, beautiful life, when we have children involved, and they, because they know that children tug at our heartstrings. They know that children, when anything that involves children, there's an emotional attachment. We have a confirmed bias to children in our culture, not just in America, but in our culture. It's the way of the world now. I think it's always been, but a lot of people, they are saying, look at me, aren't I cute, aren't I special, aren't I important? They take selfies with the kids at the hospitals. They, I don't care. I visited a child at the hospital, and I would love to visit more children at the hospital. I don't want selfies. I don't want pictures of me and the warriors at the hospitals. What I want is, there's pictures of me and Caleb, where we were at the poker run a couple weeks ago. I was at Caleb's house, and we had pictures of Caleb and I had Jerry Bear with me together. There's pictures. There's a picture of me and Olivia Anderle from Ovid, Michigan. They had a yard sale, and I got to meet Olivia. It was the opportunity of a lifetime to get to meet her and her mother. Very nice people. We had a picture taken. I don't do it for the selfies, and I sure as hell I'm not going to go to the hospital just to have a picture taken of me and the warrior. Because to me that is a narcissistic approach at being number one. Now, like I said, I go to their houses. Like, I've had pictures taken with Abram Gingras at his house because I spent the weekend up at his house, and I've been invited back. That's wonderful, and I've had pictures taken with Lily. There's a lot of warriors that I've had pictures taken with, but I don't do it primarily for the selfies. I don't do it for the selfies at all, actually. I do it because I raise awareness because these are my brothers and sisters, always. That doesn't change; it's permanent. And as soon as you can differentiate, okay, who's doing this for the attention and who's doing this for the heart, when you can, find leverage and balance there, you will then be able to make an educated determination as to who is being genuine and who is not. And I know I kind of went off on a rant here and just kind of threw the kitchen sink at you, but that is one of the things I witnessed on social media when I had it. It was one of the many reasons that I got tired of social media. It's the narcissism. It's the pretentiousness. And yes, it is the obsequiousness of people who, they passively accept everything. And this is a segue into my next thing that I wanted. I didn't think I was going to have anything to talk about this week, but I'm kind of going off on a rant here and going off on a tangent. Social media, I've said this, I must have said this 1,000 times. Facebook, and I'm going to use Facebook because it was the last social media networking site I used before I called it quits with social media altogether. Facebook was the last straw for me. It was launched in 2004. It had taken me 6 years. I didn't join up with Facebook until 2010. It took me 6 years to make up my mind because I already knew just how freaking lousy it was going to be for humanity. I already knew how lousy and I just didn't want no part of it. And I went against my gut feeling, as I always do. And so I joined up in 2010. The only good thing that ever come about from Facebook is the fact that I met so many wonderful, amazing, incredibly awesome people. And we have connections even to this day. A lot of them do. A lot of them have shirked me off. They have gotten rid of me. They want nothing to do with me anymore. It's your loss. You want to believe a rumor, believe a lie. That's on you. But social media, that's when humanity had taken a very dark turn. Now, we're talking about what it does to people in terms of mental health. It ruins your self-esteem. It does incredible things to your dopamine level. And I think social media, to some extent, is extremely and absolutely neurotic. There's this attachment or this fixation that everybody needs to be heard. That's why they have Facebook. Well, we use this as a means to keep in touch. It's a shorthand way of keeping in touch with people, which is incredible. It's good for that. But those who live by the sword shall die from it. Social media is not good for communication skills. And I've said this 100 times. It has killed communication skills. It has killed people skills. It has turned us into jellyfishes when it comes to any kind of communication. I mean, it doesn't take much effort now to set somebody off because everybody has flocked to this new age way of communicating. The littlest, tiniest nudge that you give people is going to send them over the edge. No effort involved. You don't even have to put thought or effort or strength into doing something. The littlest things can set people off, and they can drop you just like that. Just like coming out of nowhere. They can get rid of you. Is that friendship? No. The very minute they disagree with something that you have to say or what you do, they get rid of you. You know, Bill Maher made a very good point. There was a time when people, when they were offended by something that someone said or done, they just shrug it off. Oh well, move on, drop a quarter, turn the page, get on with your life. Nowadays, oh, my throat's kind of cracked, scratchy here. Nowadays, people seek to destroy you and get rid of you. They want you gone. The very minute that you speak truth about anything, and you're going to have people out there who don't like you, which, and I said before, if people don't like you because of what you have to say, then you're being heard. But those people are also working to decimate you and to get rid of you and to put you out of the equation altogether. That's not what I want to do, and that was never my intention. And that's probably the impression that people get whenever I talk about advocates, air quotes, because I wouldn't even give them that label or that badge of honor. These people they're eloquent when it comes to professionally manipulating people and deceiving people into believing things, falling into traps, like most con men or con women do. It is a problem. There's always someone out there, and we're talking about childhood cancer. There's always someone out there looking to milk the system to get what they want to get from it, because they need the attention. And by golly, Facebook is just a great big freaking sandbox for all of these narcissists to stick their heads into. And I'm not saying this about my friends. I wouldn't say anything bad about my friends. I have friends who use Facebook, but I'm talking particularly about those people, the narcissists, the people who are only out to do what's best for them. And when I talk about someone who's out there stealing money from people, which he still is, that's not me looking to get rid of the person. I'm speaking up about this to make people aware, because that's also part of the awareness. You talk about more than 4% of childhood cancer, the funding, that is. And you also have to make aware that there are people out there who are fraudulent, they're liars, and they will do anything to deceive you and to con you, and they play on your emotions so they can solicit money from you. And that's exactly what's going on. Now, I've been threatened to be sued. You guys know about this. I've mentioned this numerous amounts of times. I was threatened to be sued because I spoke in opposition. Oh, well, now you're slandering me. Well, consider this. No more than you're slandering me. But you don't see me making threats of lawsuits for slander or libelous. It's just not happening. And I think Dad's home. Yes, they are. They just walked through the door, but that's okay. I'll continue on making this video. Hey, Dad. Hey, Bud. Hey, Amy.
Hey, Jared.
But so that's where we are, and you know, most people, they want to say, well, Jared, you're just out to get rid of these people. I'm not looking to get rid of anybody. I'm looking to make people aware, and in a happily ever after, beautiful ending to a story. Lots and lots of people are waking up to this, and I think it's wonderful. I am so glad that people are finally starting to, and I don't care necessarily if they walk away from this person on their own accord, or if they, listen to me. I don't care what their reason is, as long as they get away from that person. I'm not looking to get rid of that person. I'm not looking to snipe them or have anything happen to them. That's not my plan. My plan is that I want people to wake up to those people who are crooked and sleazy and looking to just do horrible things by preying on the emotions of real people. As an advocate, I'm not going to stand by and let people do this. I'm sorry. You can hate on me all you want. You can believe whatever rumor you want. It is not going to happen. I'm not going to shut up about it. And I promise you that not every video that I do on my channel will consist of rants about advocates, or, again, there I go calling these people advocates. They're crooks. They're not advocates. They're crooks. I'm not going to be quiet about people like that. And more importantly, I'm glad that the people are waking up, and they're starting to realize that, you know what, these people really aren't as good or as ideal as they want people to believe. For me, the icing on the cake was anybody who lies, just one lie alone is going to lead or manifest into several other lies down the road, which it most certainly happens that way. That is most certainly the case. But I'm not looking to have anything, I'm not looking to have people removed. And I say I'm not looking for anything bad to happen. Well, I guess to an extent, I want to see them go to jail. I want there to be, if you're stealing money from people, and you're soliciting money from people, preying on people's emotions, I want there to be some kind of accountability. I want you to be charged with a federal crime or whatever charges that can be imposed. I want for there to be some kind of justice for all of the families that are being taken advantage of. I want there to be some kind of justice. That's what I would hope for. I don't want I don't want this person or people to continuously get away with manipulating people and lying to people and cheating people and doing the things they know they shouldn't be doing. I want them to be put in jail. And sooner or later, one day, that will happen. As far as, the people, oh, yeah, we're going to sue Jared, and okay, whatever. The only thing you're going to get out of me is I have some ice trays up in my cupboard that you can have, to make ice cubes. That's about all you're going to get. I don't really have anything else that you're going to get. And, you can't get blood out of a turnip. But anyway, you can talk. You ain't got to whisper. Okay. You're going out to the camper, the air conditioning. You taking Barkley with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why are you going out to the camper? It's just cooler out there?
Yeah.
You want to shut that light off?
Oh.
That light gives off a lot of heat, and I'm like really roasting. And I'm wearing a white, light-colored shirt too. Lightweight shirt. But anyway, so, and I apologize. I know I talk about that an awful lot, but it is one of the many things that will always constantly get under my skin, because I'm speaking from personal standpoints. There are a lot of people out there who think that certain individuals are just wonderful and blissful, and you know what? Do you know what else is bliss? Ignorance. And if you are aligning yourself with people who are ignorant, that makes you just as equally ignorant. Because of the fact that if you see, if you can't even take 2 seconds to think about what's really going on, the bigger picture, then you have deceived yourself. And I wanted to get to some other things about social media, but that was the main core of social media for me is, the kinds of things that happen with the childhood cancer community. A lot of the people are sincere and genuine, and a lot of them are just doing it to make themselves look good, which is sick. But among all else on Facebook, and again, I'm using Facebook because it was the last social networking site I used, we have this problem where misinformation is getting tossed around like a beach ball. Nobody cares to look at the ball, examine the ball, take notice of the color of the ball, the frequency, the size of matter. Nobody cares to observe. They observe what's put in front of them. They don't investigate. They don't critically think. They don't do research. They don't analyze anything. They take everything at face value. And especially with politics and religion, we have this huge problem with political bickering back and forth. And politics and religion are two of the things I never like to discuss on Facebook when I had it. I never like to talk about it because both subjects are very slippery slopes. And when you have an agenda against somebody, and this same logic works all across the board. When you have an agenda against somebody, whoever else is going to come up with some bogus made-up lie, that person who's already got the agenda against you, they're going to follow that. because it fits their anger. It fits their discontent with you. It fits their disproportion of you, which I think is unfortunate. Nobody deserves to be lied about. And like I said previously, you don't have to like me or what I have to say, but sometimes the truth can be a little hard to handle. And I only speak the truth, and I have to applaud those people who have finally woken up to the guise of people who like to make themselves look good elsewhere, but they have also lied, and they've given themselves enough rope just to hang themselves. It doesn't take much effort. And that's why, like I said, and it goes for anybody who wants to share any kind of misinformation on Facebook. Nobody cares to examine anything critically, rationally. They have no reasonable, there's nothing reasonable that would ever fit reality, that would even suggest that anything you see is true without investigating. Like I said, people have agendas against certain people. They like to propagate lies, and they like to spread around nonsense like wildfire. And if you're just smart enough to really stop and say, look, this is bullshit, I know better, and that goes for anybody, not just me, but for anybody. You say, look, this is crap because I know this person, and this is not true. None of this is true because I know better. And furthermore, where's your proof? Where's your evidence? Because if the one thing that you're trying to use to pass off as some kind of empirical evidence is, oh, well, this was said and that was said, well, prove it. Show it. And if it doesn't match up to your standards of what you think is wrong or what you choose to see as negative and nasty, then you're making yourself look like a total douche. And I've spent a lot of time talking about this, but social media has destroyed humanity. It has killed us. Alexander Graham Bell would be turning in his grave if he knew how poorly people have gotten when it comes to communication. He would be rolling in his grave. So, I'll give props to social media for finding the friends that I have now. Had it not been for social media, I wouldn't have had the connections I have. I've had people text me, call me, email me, which is wonderful. But that's about as far as it goes. Everything else is crap. And it's mitigated by people who are already crazy, and they're uneducated and misinformed. And what they do is they use Facebook to reinforce their opinions that have not been justified with any kind of rational, critical thinking or any kind of evidence to back up the claims they make. Like there was this one rumor going around that Jared posted something and he deleted it. Again, you would have to demonstrate that thing that you're talking about, which I have no clue what they're talking about. And when I say this, most people think, well, Jared's just playing stupid now. He knows what he's talking about, and he wants everybody to think that he doesn't. No, I don't. I actually don't know what you're talking about. And if you know what I'm talking about, and if you made the claim, well, you would have had to have seen something, which means you would have taken a screenshot, which means that you also would have reported it. See, all of those things add up to bigger and bigger and better truths. And it's those people who preach the truth, they can't handle it. In the same way that people are always griping about drama on Facebook, what do you think Facebook is? You don't like drama, but as far as I could tell when I had Facebook, drama was your 3 square meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and din-din. That was your drama, and you would eat it and gobble it up by the spoonfuls. So don't give me this crap about, oh, I don't like drama. You live for it. You thrive on it. It is your bread and butter. Without drama, your life would be even more boring and lousy than it is now. And I say that to the naysayers, the people who, they hate on Jared. I got haters out there. Screw them and their hate, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't want to end this on a negative note now. Come on. I'm in a good mood, and I don't want to end a video. I've been here for 40 minutes, so it seems longer than that. I don't know. Time's just slipping. But social media, guys, there's several different reasons that I relinquished use of social media at any and all costs, and now I'm just simply reduced to a YouTube channel. But I have my connections, like I said. I talk to people on my cell phone. I have an email address. People call me, text me, email me. They get in touch. They even write me letters. I have received lots of wonderful mail from childhood cancer warriors, and I look to do some more in the future. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the cans anymore, the donation jars. I'm thinking what I want to do is have a lemonade stand. I'm thinking a lemonade stand may be a little more effective because, you know, if you're putting money in a jar, hey, there's something in it for you guys. You're getting free, lemonade and cookies or hot dogs, chips, whatever. I grill up some hot dogs. You know, I'll have some hot dog buns, have a stack of cups and napkins. I would have it all set up. As a matter of fact, we have a back room on the back end of this house that never gets used. It's just a storage space for tools, toolboxes and stuff. What I'm thinking about doing is maybe seeing if I could clean that out temporarily and use that as a lemonade stand. And I can, because there's a sliding window that goes from my bedroom into that back room. And so if I'm able to, I would be more than happy, more than willing to, have a lemonade stand in the back room. But we do have a problem with bees and bees, the bees' nests and the hives and stuff. But I would make sure those are all extinguished and taken care of. I would make it safe for people to come in and get some lemonade, cookies or whatever, and, or instead of standing behind the sliding window, I could just sit in the back room and wait for people to come in, which would also work. But I'm thinking either that or, like I said, I could have like a picnic table and I could have an umbrella because I'm allergic to the sun. I could have an umbrella, or I could have some kind of I could build like a wooden entrapment or something, or not even wooden, maybe PVC pipe would work. Have like the framework, the PVC framework, and just have like a tarp or something going over it or around it, which I think would also work. I just might go that route. Buy some PVC pipe and zip tie a tarp around it to keep the sun out, and run an extension cord if I want to have a radio playing or whatever, which would be wonderful. That would be great. I just might do that instead. So I'm just kind of blabbering off my ideas here. But if I do use a PVC pipe, I would have to get the kind of PVC pipe that is sturdy and won't bend so easy, just in case it rains or it gets windy. So I would have to do that. In PVC pipe, you can do anything with PVC pipe, anything at all. So that'll have to be something I do. buy some PVC pipe, buy some zip ties, and I think we have tarps. I could even buy a tarp. That's not a problem at all. I would have to save up some money and have like a little makeshift lemonade stand. But we would also need a picnic table. I wouldn't want to build a picnic table. I would just assume even using one of those like a Little Tikes picnic table, for the kids, because it would be geared towards children if I'm doing a fundraiser to help raise money for childhood cancer. If it's a lemonade stand, or if it's hot dogs and potato chips, which would also be great. Hamburgers, like a cookout. I guess hamburgers would be okay, or hot dogs. If I have hot dogs, what I would have to do, or at least what I would assume I would have to do, is let the hot dogs simmer in a crock pot of water, and do it that way, or a slow cooker or something like that, which I guess a crock pot would be a slow cooker. I think it's another. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm just rambling off ideas here, guys. I have started a poster. I'm in the middle of making a poster for Caleb Becker. And I was at Walmart in Owasso last week, and I was really frustrated because I couldn't find anything relating to childhood cancer. Breast cancer awareness is all I could see. I have nothing against the breast cancer warriors. They're my sisters too, as far as I'm concerned. But September is our month. It's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We don't try to promote childhood cancer awareness in October. We don't go gold in October, just like we shouldn't be going pink in September. I think fair is fair, in all honesty, and we shouldn't be canceling out each other's awareness efforts, and we should, stick to our own and specify to our own month and say, okay, well, this is September and this is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. You're going to have your chance next month in October. We're going to go pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, but anyway, and I'm rambling here. I went to Walmart in Owasso. I couldn't find anything, and I'm thinking, okay, so I couldn't find anything relating to childhood cancer awareness. But I got to thinking, before I even walked out of the store, I thought to myself, okay, so the object alone, what I'm looking for is childhood cancer awareness ribbons. Aha, ribbon. What does Jer Bear do? He goes over to the arts and crafts aisle at Walmart, and they have spools of gold ribbon. Actual ribbon. But it wasn't to my liking, I guess. So what I did is I went over to the birthday, where they sell the birthday party supplies. Sure enough, there was a spool of gold ribbon that was to my satisfaction. It was to my liking. I bought it. It's like, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's do this. So I bought the ribbon, and I'm using actual gold ribbon for his poster. And it's going to be, I talked to his mom, and his mom says it's going to be put on the back of his door, his bedroom door. So that way, if they ever move, they can take the door down and take it with them. Which reminds me, I'll probably get started on that poster as soon as I wrap up this video. I have so many other things I have to get to. I was hoping Dad would have taken this up to the gas station to see if it was okay for the gas station to have this donation jar for Buddy. But like I said, we will get this going for Buddy Boy. We will get this fundraiser off the ground. We'll get rocking and rolling. No doubt or question about it. If we can't do it at Express Stop, there will be other places possibly where we can do it, or I might have to do something here at the house. And I'm more than willing to do something here at the house if that's what it takes. If I have to go out, if I have to buy a bunch of hot dogs and hot dog buns and if I have to do something to that or to that nature, I will. I'll have signs made up. It's not a problem for me to do this. I will do whatever I have to do to help a family in need. That's not, irrespective of a person's religious beliefs, which it's not about being Christian. It's not about being anything religious. It's about being a human being first. That's always, first and foremost. And I'm not putting down anybody's religious beliefs. You can believe whatever you want, but that's why I never talk about religion on Facebook or politics, because both of those subjects are very slippery slopes that I wish to avoid at all times. Even in videos like these, I don't like to talk about religion or politics. But the one thing I did mention, and there is some political relevance to it, is, and I mentioned this in the live video on my dad's Facebook page today, is that it's wonderful that you get enough people, like we had CareFest last weekend. It's wonderful that you get enough people wanting to march on Capitol Hill and strike on Washington. That's great. That helps to get that ball going in the right direction that we want. However, my issue or my concern is, first of all, are those people actually being heard who are marching and striking? Are they being heard? That's the first thing. Second of all, are they doing anything in Oval Office at this very hour, this very minute, this very second that will help achieve and sustain the goals to which that we want more than 4% of government funding for childhood cancer research? Are these things actually taking place? Because we don't hear about it, and there's no, I watch the news, I watch the evening news, I watch the local news. I have not heard of any breakthrough. I mean, we have the Race for Children Act, of course, I've heard about that. But I mean, I have not heard of any breakthroughs as to whether or not there's more than 4% of government funding going towards the research and studies of pediatric cancer and what we can do to find cures. I have not heard of any breakthrough phenomenon or a breakthrough story happening anywhere. And I welcome that if there is. I invite people to share something with me that I may have overlooked, because my only concern is that if people are going to be striking and marching in Washington, I am so hoping that the elected officials or the Senate, the Congress, whoever's in charge of all this, I hope that they are actually listening and paying attention and not waiting until it's one of their own children. It's happening now to lots of friends of mine. It's happening to him. It's happening to Buddy. It's happening to lots of kids. And if anybody on Capitol Hill, because I wasn't at CareFest, if anybody at Capitol Hill or on Capitol Hill, or anybody even here in Michigan, any elected official, state representative, Senate, Congress, whoever, if anybody in Lansing or in Washington, D.C. is listening and watching this right now, which I highly doubt that is the case, but I'm going to say this anyway, don't wait until it's one of your kids. Do something now. There's no reason at all that any child should have to needlessly suffer and die at the hands of a disease that gets next to no funding. None. And this is my plea to the elected officials in government. Do something. Don't wait until it's one of your own children. Do something now, because it's always, always, always someone's child. Hell, it was me damn near 30 years ago. Don't wait until it's your children. Do it now. And that's all I got to say. Don't wait around. Do something now. If you're not doing it now, do it. Because it's somebody else's child. Because it's wonderful and beautiful and amazing children like Braden. Buddy Boy is one of the most strongest, most toughest kids I've ever met in my life. I love this little boy with all my heart. I love his family deeply and dearly. And it kills me that not only is their son very ill, but the parents have to suffer through watching their baby go through one of the most horrid things ever as their friend. And this goes for all children out there, cancer warriors, fighting, survive, the ones who have passed. It makes me stark, raving pissed that we live in a democracy where we preach children are a top priority because we have a confirmed bias about children everywhere in our culture. It is predominant. But yet they're getting the shaft on things that matter the most. And if that doesn't outrage you, I don't know what will. It's time that we started to really push for incremental change and get the show on the road, because this is getting out of hand. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people whose children have died, a lot of these parents, and their children have died from after having lived through agony and anguish. This is really, it is a travesty to our children, and it is a travesty to our democracy where we preach putting children first. Why don't you start putting actions to words? And as a young Avery Bentley said, people over money. And I love that attitude, and I love her. She is a very sweet little girl, and she is also a very brave cancer warrior. Love her to pieces. And you know, it's a money thing, because we don't want to take the big pharma. They want to profit on the ill and the sickly. When you value money over people, wow. I could think of a million words that could just describe what kind of egregious and careless and you know, this is negligence at its worst. You know, we have these commercials in America about hospitals' negligence. Call this lawyer. Well, our children are already being neglected, in which case we should all get to sue the government. Because these children are being neglected. 4%, that's it, 4 cents of every dollar. 4 pennies. Big whoop-de-doo. Big hairy whoop. Yeah, I'm upset about it. I'm angry about it. But you know what? I'm in a good mood, but that's one of the things that outrages me the most. And you know, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to end it on that note. I have been here for almost an hour. Well, I've been here for an hour, 59 minutes, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds. I'm going to get ready to go. I know this video this week has been nothing but ranting, but we are in the 24th day of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We are almost at the end. This Saturday is the last day. Please get the word out. I don't care if you have to share a ribbon. I don't care if you, whatever you have to do. If you, please do a lemonade stand. Do something that will help someone that you know. Even if you don't know them, help them. I'm not saying be a crook and don't pretend like you know when you don't. I'm saying even if you're not, and I say don't be a crook, what I mean is don't do what most other people do and come up with a fabricated story and lie about things. What I'm saying is do something to help bring awareness to childhood cancer. This is very and extremely essential, and it's very serious. Just because it's not your kid, never say never. And I'll leave it on that note. Much love to all of you. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.